We welcome you to the biggest tournament in the Caribbean, the Punta Cana Poker Classic. From the spectacular Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in the Dominican Republic, come and enjoy poker in paradise with your friends and family and play in this rock star event. With a guaranteed prize pool of $500,000, it's your turn to win. Welcome back to the beautiful Hard Rock Hotel and Casino here in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. We're here for episode number 2 of the Punta Cana Poker Classic. We've got 8 players left, and we've got tremendous drama because we are finding out whether Fareed calls, and if he does, the possibility to knock 2 players out. What do you think is going to happen, Stephanie?
That was certainly unfortunate.
And what about you, Tony?
I want to see what happens.
Well, so do I. Let's get right to the action. We'll be back in just a minute. Brought to you by AmericasCardRoom.net, the Latin Poker Series presents the Punta Cana Poker Classic. Welcome back to the final table here at the Punta Cana Poker Classic. Where we left off last time, Fareed was involved in a very, very big hand where he made a raise. Raul Castillo moved in almost instantly with 2 8s. Fareed had 2 10s. And all of a sudden, Nacho, who was in the big blind, woke up with ace-king offsuit. He moved all in, which has now put the pressure on Fareed. We've got Raul all in and Nacho all in. So we're taking a look at Fareed's reaction to the all-in. One of his reactions is getting a full chip count from both players, so he can make an informed decision. That decision is a big one because I'm sure Nacho's got enough chips to put a dent in Fareed's stack. And having had the chip lead, he's had the opportunity to muscle the table a little bit. As a matter of fact, it looks like Nacho thinks he was just muscling the table with his opening raise, which is why he moved over the top of Raul's raise, giving himself a chance to get heads up with Raul and not putting all his chips at risk. However, if Fareed does make the call here, Fareed has the opportunity to knock both players out, as he does have the best starting hand with the 2 10s. He's got the 8s dominated, and it is a bit of a coin toss with the ace-king. So it's a big decision to make. I'm sure Fareed knows that he's got an opportunity to knock 2 players out here. So he's counting his chips. He wants to make sure what he'll have left should he lose the hand. That's going to be a big decision maker for him as well. He's counted it up. Has he made the decision to call? He has. He has, and it's a 3-way pot. A 3-way pot with an opportunity to lose 2 players. The 2 10s of Fareed, the 2 8s of Raul, and the ace-king of Nacho. So the 2 10s are in the lead. Here's the flop. The flop is 3 6 7. No help for Nacho. 10s are still in the lead. The turn card is an 8. It's an 8 of hearts. That's an 8 for Raul. The last card is a 4. No one's got a flush. The 8s are going to triple up, and the 10s are going to take all of Nacho's chips here. All of Nacho's chips are going to be gone, and the winner of this particular match, in this particular sense, is Raul, because Raul tripled up, and Nacho has been eliminated in this event. Nacho is gone. He's gone for $15,000, not anywhere near what he thought he'd have a chance to make here. Didn't think that Fareed was going to call, knew it was going to put a dent in his stack, but Fareed did make the call, and now Nacho is on the rail. What a great opportunity for both Raul and for Fareed. Raul triples up, Fareed gets the rest of Nacho's chips, which is quite a lump sum, and Fareed has now got a commanding chip lead here at the Punta Cana Poker Classic at the final table. Look at the smile on Raul's face. Look at the grin on Nacho's face. Shaking hands, ever being the sport he is. He's played enough poker to know that this is just another session, and he'll be back at the final table someday soon. Say goodbye to Nacho. We've now lost one of the better players at the table. That doesn't mean that anybody can't win. This is still up for grabs. So, here's more about Nacho. Nacho has won $18,440. That leaves 7 players left at the final table. Here are the current chip counts. In 7th position from the U.S., Ari Engel, $750,000, right at $750,000. $100,000 above that is Bob Kateski. And Herman Poncio has got a little over $1 million. $1.4 million now for Raul. Look at that. He's moved all the way up to 4th place in chips. George Monsef from Canada, $1.45 million. And Steve Jacobs from the U.S. has moved up to $2.2 million. And our chip leader by far is Farid Hatin with almost $5 million in chips. Let's recount where everybody is sitting. Raul Castillo is in seat number 1. In seat number 3, but really in 2nd position, is Kateski. In seat number 5 is Ari Engel, followed by Steve Jacobs in seat number 6. Poncio is in seat number 7. Our chip leader, Farid Hatin, is in seat number 8, and George Monsef, don't forget the first person to put his chips at risk, is still in seat number 9.
Wow, what a hand. So totally unexpected, Mr. Barbero from Argentina is leaving us in the 8th position with an interesting price of $18,000. I'm sure he was expecting a lot more, but this is poker.
Warren Tony, let me tell you about Herman Poncio, also from Argentina. He has 8 solid tournament runs in his career. Right before the Punta Cana Poker Classic, he participated in the Rio Daily Tournament in Las Vegas, where he ranked 33rd. His total winnings for live tournaments to date, $19,500. Interesting note about Herman, he likes to be called the anti-protein.
Here's Yatin with the 3-4 of hearts. He's raised to $130,000. Bob is now pondering his hand. He's got ace jack. And he's called. We're over to Ari. Ari lets it go. And we're two-handed to the flop. Yatin and Kateski. The flop is queen, queen, 6. Both players have missed this flop. But Yatin has bet, putting some pressure back on Bob, who doesn't hesitate to make the call. And the turn card is an ace. That one hits Bob right between the eyes and has Yatin now drawing dead. Pot is a little over 600,000 here. And Bob is checked, and Yatin bets 125,000. Here is the river card. The river card is a king, and with the king, it makes Bob the leader of this hand. He has checked, And now let's see what Yatin is doing. Yatin puts in a bet of 605,000, trying to muscle his way into this pot and see if he can get Bob off his ace. Bob has called though, and Yatin wraps the table, says good hand, shows his 3-4 off. Bob shows his ace-jack, aces and queens with a king kicker, and he's going to win a very nice sized pot. Almost $2 million in that pot, and Bob has won 2 hands in a row. And now we have the big blind is on Ari. Steve has folded, as Poncio has, and we're back to Yatin, who now has 7-8 suited. We know he likes suited connectors. He's grabbing for some chips, and he has called the 60,000. Just limped his way in. That's the first time he's done that. George has folded. Jose Castillo has picked up a pair of 4s, and he's raised to 200,000. Both Kateski and Ari get out of the way. And we're back to Yatin. I have a feeling Yatin is going to make a call here at least. Certainly a hand you'd want to get in with cheaply to see a flop. Yatin has called the 200,000. So 2 4s against 7-8 suited and diamonds, and here's the flop. Flop is ace 5-6, and Yatin has flopped an open-ended straight. Yatin has flopped an open-ended straight, and no pair for Yatin, but Jose Castillo is still in the lead in this hand. Yatin has moved all in, and now Castillo is playing for his tournament life. What is Jose going to do? Trying to determine whether he has enough chips to go forward. No, he wants to play it at this point. He's called the bet. Yatin has shown an open-ended straight. The 2 4s are in the lead. He's got a blocker with those 4s. The turn card is a diamond. That gives a lot more outs to Yatin. It is a black queen, and the 2 4s are going to win, and the crowd erupts as Jose Castillo is now going to double up. And you can see that the local Dominican Republicans, the Punta Canans, are very excited to see their horse win this particular hand. Doesn't mean he's out of the event, and certainly can find other ways to double through. But he's gone from chip leader down to one of the smaller stacks, and now has a lot of work to do to get back. In the meantime, Jose is counting his chips to make sure he gets all the value he possibly can, and make sure that the chip counts are right. And there's a couple of other chips that are necessary. The dealer sends them over. And Jose is going to stack an awful lot of chips here. That puts him in a great position.
The way I feel about the Punta Cana Poker Classic, so far it's the 5th year that we've done it. We've gotten bigger every year, and the thing that you see about this tournament that you don't see about a lot of tournaments that are destinations is you see a lot of the same guys every year, because it's just the best destination. It's really well run, great tournament directors, great dealers, and good people, and a lot of fun. Punta Cana is like the greatest holiday destination ever. I mean, when you put free alcohol, free food, and poker in the same place, plus sunshine and the beach, I mean, can you get anything really better? the way I feel about yacht poker, I feel like it's becoming a stronger and stronger brand for Latin America. It's really becoming, the brand awareness in Brazil is coming along, and people are really starting to recognize it as a place that it's safe to play. This tournament, because it doesn't have the really high buy-in like the series or some of the EPT stuff, plus the setting is much more of a family vacation type of setting. The players are much more of a casual player. This year, we've seen a little bit different. We've seen some of the higher end pros come out for the cash games and everything. So it's catching on. But we have a good mix. The buy-ins are low enough that, you know, if you lose, it's not destroying you. But it's still big enough that, you know, first place is, I think, like 150K for the main this year. I had this crazy plan. I don't know if it's why I came up with it. We were talking about doing something that makes the tournament different, and the whole idea behind the Punta Cana Poker Classic is it's fun, is keep it lighthearted and everything. So I said, you know what? Let's get a dunk tank, right? So we're the first poker tournament ever to have a dunk tank in the poker tournament. We're having some of the pros raising money for some local charities. It's nice for Punta Cana to have us here and host all of our poker. We might as well leave something back for everybody. And in 5 years, I hope people to stop calling it the Punta Cana Poker Classic and say, hey, have you been to that dunk tank tournament?
And Jose is going to stack an awful lot of chips here. That puts him in a great position. All right, we move forward now. Ari's got the button. The chips now are light blue are 10,000 and the reds are 25,000. It's 30, 60,000 blinds still with a 10,000 ante. And Yatin is first to act. He's shuffling chips. That usually means he's ready to get involved in a hand. And he is going to reach into his stack. And then decides to let it go, as George does as well. Jose and Bob both fold, and here's Ari on the button. Ari has king 7 off, but he's going to raise a button with a king every time. Put some pressure on the blinds. Small blind, Steve Jacobs has left. And Herman Poncio has found a hand. He's got ace 10 off, and he's moved all in. He's re-raised Ari. Ari is here on the button and now has a decision to make. He's got to decide if he's got enough equity in George's stack in order to take this flop and see these 5 cards.
They don't even look like 20. They look like 20. Ah, sorry. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 7, 80. 780.
780,000 in chips. Ari's going to make a decision here. He's at a 65-35%. He's trying to decide if the equity is correct. Looking back usually means you're going to fold. But not Ari. Ari has made this call, and we're going to see king 7 offsuit against ace 10 offsuit. The ace 10 is in the lead and a 2-to-1 favorite. Here's a queen jack 3, no pair for either player. Another queen. He can't catch a king because that'll give Poncio a straight, but it's a 7. A 7 hits the river, and Poncio is disgusted and walks away. Ari Engel is going to win this pot and knock out and eliminate Main Poncio. And Armain is just as frustrated as can be. He knows he couldn't catch a king because that would have given him a straight. So the only card he can catch is a 7, and there were 3 7s remaining in the deck, and one of them hit.
And here comes Poncio back to the table, walking right over to Ari and congratulating him on a hand, shaking hands with everyone else at the table. That was a tough loss, but we did lose Herman Poncio in that hand. Herman Poncio is not going to go home empty-handed. He's going to get at least $21,000 and change. Still shaking his head. It's a tough situation. Not a great beat. Walking over to the tables, he's tossed his bag away again and certainly still very frustrated. But now he's shaking hands with the people and realizes he's done very, very well, got himself a good amount of money, and is, in the end, I have a feeling he's going to be very, very happy. He represented very well and ended up with $21,000 and change. Not a bad payday here at the Punta Cana Poker Classic. Poncio gets $21,395, having finished in 7th place.
Well, we certainly had some great heavy action there in the final hand. Herman Poncio went in with the best hand. Ari Engel thought for a long time and then finally decided to call with his King 7 and rivered a 7, a 3-outer to knock out Herman Poncio. So we're down to 6 players. We're going to come back next time with those 6 remaining players. Tell me what you think about today's episode.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate knockout, right?
You could definitely see the frustration on Herman Poncio.
He walked about a half a mile before he came back and shook everybody's hand. We'll be back next episode with the final 6 players. Come on back to Punta Cana here in the Dominican Republic for the Punta Cana Poker Classic.